Welcome to Elevate and Thrive, where your mindset evolves. 1 year from now, you will look back at this exact moment. You will either thank yourself for the discipline you chose today, or hate yourself for the comfort you chose instead. The pain is coming either way. The only question is, will it build you or will it break you? Regret is not born in the moment you fail. Failure is loud, obvious, and painful, but it is honest. Regret is quiet. It grows slowly in the background while you keep postponing the life you know you should be living. Every time you say, not now, regret takes a small step closer. Every time you choose comfort over effort, it settles deeper. You don't feel it immediately, and that's why it's dangerous. Failure hurts once, regret hurts every day. Most people fear failure, but failure is not what destroys lives. Delay does. Delay convinces you that you have time. Delay tells you tomorrow will be better, that circumstances will magically change, that motivation will suddenly appear. Delay makes you feel safe while it quietly steals your future. Years pass not because you were incapable, but because you waited. And when you finally look back, you don't regret the things you tried and failed at. You regret the things you never had the courage to begin. Failure teaches. It sharpens you. It shows you what doesn't work and pushes you closer to what does. Delay teaches nothing. It leaves you exactly where you started, just older, more tired, and more afraid. When you delay, you carry a constant mental weight. You know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it. That internal conflict drains your energy, your confidence, and your self-respect. Over time, you stop trusting yourself because you keep breaking promises to your own potential. Think about how regret actually feels. It's not dramatic, it's heavy. It shows up late at night when everything is quiet. It shows up when you see someone else living a life you once imagined for yourself. It shows up when you realize that the door you kept saying you'd open is now harder to reach. Regret whispers, you knew better. And that whisper is harder to silence than any criticism from the outside world. Delay convinces you that waiting is responsible, that you need more preparation, more clarity, more confidence. But clarity comes from movement, not waiting. Confidence is built by action, not by thinking about action. You don't wake up one day suddenly ready. You become ready by starting before you feel ready. Delay reverses that truth and traps you in endless planning with no progress. Failure, on the other hand, gives you evidence. Evidence that you tried. Evidence that you're capable of action. Even when you fail, you gain momentum because you're moving forward. Delay gives you nothing but excuses and anxiety. And the longer you delay, the bigger the task feels. What once required courage now feels impossible. Not because it is, but because time magnified your fear. Regret also reshapes how you see yourself. When you delay long enough, you begin to believe you are the kind of person who never follows through. That belief becomes an identity. And once it becomes an identity, breaking out feels overwhelming. Not because the goal is too big, but because you've spent too long standing still. Delay slowly erodes your belief in your own power. Failure doesn't do that. Failure reminds you that you're alive, trying, learning. People who fail still respect themselves because they showed up. People who delay slowly lose that respect because deep down they know they didn't. And self-respect is everything. Without it, motivation feels fake, discipline feels impossible, and dreams feel unrealistic. 1 year from now, you won't remember how scared you were of failing. You will remember whether you started. You won't replay the mistakes you made along the way. You'll replay the moments you chose not to act. Time has a way of forgiving failure, but never forgiving hesitation. The world moves on. Opportunities shift, energy changes. What you delay today doesn't wait patiently for you tomorrow. Regret doesn't come crashing down all at once. It accumulates, quietly, daily, in small choices. And by the time you fully feel it, the cost is much higher than the effort it would have taken to start. Failure demands courage in the moment. Regret demands payment for a lifetime. Time does not wait for permission, and it does not care about your readiness. It keeps moving with or without you, steady and unstoppable. Every second that passes is gone forever, and nothing you do can bring it back. You might tell yourself that you'll start when things calm down, when you feel more confident, when you have more money, more clarity, or more motivation. But while you're waiting for the perfect moment, time is quietly moving forward, carrying your life along with it. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you realize it, years have passed. The world didn't stop. Other people didn't stop. Opportunities didn't stop. Only you did. Time doesn't judge your excuses. It doesn't reward your intentions. It only responds to action. Whether you wake up early or hit snooze, time moves. Whether you work toward your goals or scroll endlessly, time moves. Whether you take responsibility for your life or avoid it, time moves. That's the brutal truth most people don't want to face. You are not standing still while you wait. You are moving forward into the future anyway, just without progress. And one day, you will look back and realize that the life you wanted required time you already spent. Every "I'll do it later" is a decision, even if it doesn't feel like one. Choosing not to start is still choosing a direction. It It's choosing to let time decide your outcome instead of you. People often fear starting because they're afraid of failing, but what they don't see is that not starting guarantees a different kind of failure. A quiet one, a slow one, the kind that doesn't hurt all at once but builds regret piece by piece. Time will move you closer to something no matter what. The only question is whether it's moving you closer to the life you want or further away from it. Look at your past, the things you wish you had started a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the skills you could have built, the habits you could have formed, the version of yourself that could exist today. All of that was possible because time was available then, just like it is now. But time passed anyway, it always does. And 1 year from now, the same thing will happen again. You will either be grateful you used the time or you'll wish you had. There is no third option. Time is neutral, but the results are not. Two people can be given the same amount of time and end up in completely different places. The difference is not luck, it's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's how they chose to use the hours that were given to them. One person waits for motivation, the other starts without it. One person plans endlessly, the other takes imperfect action. Time rewards the one who moves, not the one who thinks about moving. You might believe you're stuck, but time proves otherwise. You're always moving forward, your body is aging, your responsibilities are changing, your opportunities are shifting. Even when nothing seems to be happening, something is. And the longer you delay, the heavier it becomes to start. Habits of inaction grow stronger, doubt becomes more comfortable, fear feels more reasonable. Time doesn't just pass, it compounds. What you do consistently or fail to do consistently adds up. The hardest part is accepting that time will not give you a warning before it's gone. There is no moment where it taps you on the shoulder and says, "This is your last chance." You only realize how valuable time was after it has passed. That's why starting now matters so much, not because you're fully ready, but because time is already moving. Starting doesn't mean you have it all figured out. It means you refuse to let time pass without direction. Every small action you take today bends the direction of your future. Even a tiny step is enough to change where time carries you. The moment you act, you stop being a passive passenger and start becoming the driver. Time will still move forward, but now it will be moving with purpose. And that single choice made today instead of later can completely change what you see when you look back. Waiting feels comfortable because it protects you from uncertainty. When you wait, you don't have to risk embarrassment, failure, or criticism. You don't have to confront your weaknesses or face the possibility that you might not be as good as you hope. Waiting gives you the illusion of control. It feels responsible. It feels patient. It feels smart. But what most people never realize is that waiting is not neutral. It is a choice, and it is one of the most expensive choices you can make. Every day you wait, you are paying with time. And time is the one currency you can never earn back. Money can be replaced, energy can return, confidence can be rebuilt. But time once spent is gone forever. Waiting might feel safe in the moment, but the bill always comes later. It comes in the form of regret, frustration, and the painful question of what could have been if you had just started sooner. People often say they are waiting for the right moment, but the truth is the right moment rarely arrives. Life does not slow down to create perfect conditions. There will always be responsibilities, distractions, and reasons to delay. Waiting feels logical because it avoids discomfort, but growth has never lived in comfort. Every meaningful change requires you to step into uncertainty before you feel ready. When you wait for certainty, you trade progress for comfort, and comfort always costs more than you expect. Waiting also trains your mind to associate inaction with safety. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Doubt grows stronger. Fear sounds more reasonable. Excuses become more convincing. What once felt like a temporary pause slowly turns into a permanent pattern. You don't notice it happening because it's quiet. There is no dramatic failure, no obvious collapse, just days slipping by unnoticed, unused. The most dangerous part of waiting is that it disguises itself as preparation. You tell yourself you're researching, planning, or thinking things through. But preparation without action eventually becomes avoidance. You can only plan for so long before planning itself becomes the obstacle. Real clarity comes from doing, not from waiting. Confidence is built through experience, not through hesitation. Waiting also robs you of momentum. Momentum is created by movement, even imperfect movement. When you act, you learn. When you learn, you adjust. When you adjust, you grow. Waiting interrupts that process. It keeps you stuck in your head, replaying the same doubts over and over. The longer you stay there, the heavier it feels to move. Starting later always feels harder than starting now. Look at the people you admire. None of them waited until they felt completely ready. They moved forward while feeling uncertain, unqualified, and afraid. What separated them from everyone else was not confidence, but courage. They understood that waiting was costing them more than failure ever could. Failure teaches, waiting only delays. Time makes waiting even more expensive because it compounds. One day of delay doesn't seem like much. Neither does a week, but weeks turn into months and months turn into years. Small delays stack up into massive lost opportunities. And the painful truth is that time will keep moving whether you act or not. The future is coming regardless. The only difference is who you become by the time it arrives. Waiting convinces you that you are protecting yourself, but in reality, you are protecting your comfort, not your future. Comfort keeps you familiar with your current life, even if that life isn't what you want. Growth requires discomfort, and discomfort is temporary. Regret lasts much longer. The pain of starting fades as you adapt. The pain of waiting lingers as a constant reminder of what you didn't do. There will never be a moment when waiting stops feeling safe. That's why so many people stay stuck for years. The cost isn't obvious at first. It builds quietly day by day, but one day you wake up and realize the price you paid was your potential. Starting now may feel uncomfortable, but waiting will eventually feel unbearable. Confidence is not something that magically appears before you begin. It is not a feeling you wait for or a switch that flips once you feel ready. Confidence is built through movement, through showing up, through doing the work long before you believe in yourself. Most people get this backward. They wait to feel confident before they act, and because they never act, confidence never comes. Action is the source. Confidence is the result. When you take action, even small action, you prove something to yourself. You prove that you can move despite fear. You prove that hesitation does not control you. That proof is powerful. It rewires the way you see yourself. Each step forward becomes evidence that you are capable. Motivation may fade, emotions may fluctuate, but the identity you build through action stays. Confidence grows quietly in those moments when no one is watching, when you choose to act even though it feels uncomfortable. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes based on mood, energy, and circumstances. If you rely on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Some days you'll feel inspired, most days you won't. Action, however, does not depend on how you feel. It depends on what you decide. When you act without waiting for motivation, you take control, and every time you do that, confidence increases because you are no longer a victim of your emotions. Action also teaches you things motivation never can. You learn what works and what doesn't. You learn your limits, and then you learn how to push past them. You gain experience, and experience builds trust in yourself. That trust is confidence. You stop asking, can I do this? Because you've already proven that you can handle hard things. Even mistakes become useful. They become lessons instead of proof of failure. Many people think confidence comes from success, but it actually comes from survival, from realizing that even when things don't go perfectly, you don't break. You adapt, you recover, you keep going. That realization only comes from action. If you never act, you never learn that you are resilient. You stay stuck in fear, imagining worst-case scenarios that may never happen. Action also reduces fear. Fear grows in inactivity because your mind fills the silence with doubts. When you act, fear has less space to expand. You are too busy learning, adjusting, and moving forward. The more you act, the quieter fear becomes. Not because it disappears, but because it no longer controls your decisions. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move despite it. Waiting for motivation often becomes an excuse. It sounds reasonable, but it keeps you stuck. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. Once you start, momentum builds. Momentum creates energy. Energy fuels consistency. Consistency builds results, and results reinforce confidence. This cycle only begins when you take that first step without feeling ready. Action changes how others see you, but more importantly, it changes how you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who wants to change and start identifying as someone who takes action. That shift is powerful. It affects every area of your life. You speak differently, you carry yourself differently, you approach challenges with less hesitation because you trust your ability to figure things out. Confidence is not something reserved for the lucky or talented. It is available to anyone willing to act. The smallest action taken today is more valuable than the biggest intention left for tomorrow. Each time you choose action over hesitation, you build a little more confidence. Over time, those small moments stack up into unshakable belief, not because you waited for confidence to arrive, but because you created it yourself. Most people underestimate the power of small actions because they are obsessed with big results. They believe change only counts if it is dramatic, visible, and immediate. But real transformation rarely happens in massive leaps. It happens quietly through small daily disciplines that seem almost insignificant in the moment. One decision made consistently can reshape an entire year and eventually an entire life. Small discipline works because it removes resistance. When a task feels too big, the mind pushes back. Fear appears, excuses form, procrastination takes over. But when the action is small, the mind stays calm. It doesn't feel threatened. A short workout instead of a perfect one, 10 minutes of focus instead of waiting for hours of motivation, one page read instead of an entire chapter. These small actions lower the barrier to entry, making consistency possible. Consistency is what creates momentum. Momentum doesn't care how impressive the action looks, it cares that the action happens again and again. When you show up daily, even in small ways, you send a message to yourself that you are someone who follows through. That identity shift is powerful. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on habit. Habits shape your days, and your days shape your future. Small disciplines compound over time. One day doesn't change much. One week barely feels different. But over months, the effect becomes undeniable. Just like interest in a bank account, the results accelerate as time passes. What felt slow at first suddenly feels unstoppable. The key is patience. Most people quit too early because they don't see immediate rewards. They forget that progress is often invisible before it becomes obvious. Daily discipline also builds self-trust. Every time you do what you said you would do, no matter how small, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. You begin to believe your own promises. That belief fuels confidence. And confidence fuels bigger action. This is how small steps lead to massive change. Not through intensity, but through reliability. Perfection is the enemy of daily discipline. Waiting to do things perfectly creates inconsistency. Discipline thrives on showing up imperfectly but consistently. Some days your effort will feel strong. Other days it will feel weak. What matters is that you don't break the chain. Progress is not about being flawless. It's about being present. Small daily discipline also protects you from burnout. Extreme effort is hard to sustain. It drains energy and motivation quickly. Small, manageable actions fit into real life. They adapt to busy schedules, low energy days, and unexpected challenges. This makes them sustainable. Sustainability is what turns short-term effort into long-term success. 1 year is not as long as it seems. It passes whether you use it or not. The difference between who you are today and who you could be in 1 year is not luck or talent. It's the result of what you do repeatedly. 1 year of small discipline can strengthen your body, sharpen your mind, improve your finances, and transform your confidence. But only if you stay consistent. Small actions also create clarity. When you act, you learn. You discover what works and what doesn't. That feedback allows you to adjust without stopping. Discipline doesn't mean rigidity, it means commitment. Commitment to showing up, learning, and improving little by little. The power of small daily discipline is that it doesn't demand a perfect version of you. It works with who you are right now, it meets you where you are, and slowly builds you into who you want to become. Over time, the small things you do every day stop feeling small at all. They become the foundation of a completely different life. The pain of discipline is sharp, but it is temporary. It shows up in the early mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed. It shows up when you say no to distractions and yes to focus. It shows up when you choose effort over ease. Discipline asks something from you now. It demands energy, attention, and sacrifice, but it does not stay forever. Once the action is done, the pain fades. What remains is progress, strength, and pride. Regret is different. Regret is quiet at first. It whispers instead of shouts. It tells you that skipping today doesn't matter, that resting a little longer won't hurt, that you'll make up for it later. Regret is patient. It waits. It allows you to feel comfortable in the moment while slowly collecting interest. And one day, without warning, it speaks loudly. It shows you what you could have been if you had acted sooner. That pain doesn't fade quickly. It lingers. Discipline hurts in the present, but regret hurts in the future. That is the trade most people fail to see. They avoid the short-term discomfort of discipline and choose the long-term discomfort of regret instead. At the moment, it feels like relief. Later, it feels like loss. Discipline asks for minutes and hours. Regret takes years. When you choose discipline, you are choosing to suffer intentionally for a purpose. You are saying that your future matters more than your comfort right now. That choice is powerful. It puts you in control. Regret, on the other hand, comes from surrendering control. It comes from letting time and habits decide your outcome. It's the pain of knowing you had the ability to act but didn't. The pain of discipline has an endpoint. You finish the workout, you complete the task, you show up even when it's hard. Once it's done, you move on. Regret has no clear end. It replays itself. It shows up late at night when distractions fade. It appears when you see others living the life you wanted. It resurfaces when opportunities pass you by. Regret feeds on memory. Discipline builds self-respect. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the belief that you are reliable. That belief strengthens you. It changes how you approach challenges. Regret erodes self-respect. It makes you question your own words and promises. Over time, it weakens confidence and creates doubt. Most people don't fear discipline itself. They fear the discomfort attached to it. But discomfort is not dangerous. It's a signal that you're growing. Regret, however, is emotionally heavy. It carries shame, disappointment, and frustration. It's the pain of knowing that the effort you avoided was smaller than the pain you're feeling now. Discipline also compounds positively. The more disciplined actions you take, the easier discipline becomes. Habits form, strength builds, momentum grows, regret compounds negatively. The longer you delay, the harder it becomes to start. Missed opportunities stack up, time magnifies the loss. There will always be pain. Life does not offer a pain-free option. The choice is between the pain that builds you and the pain that breaks you. Discipline builds, regret breaks. One strengthens your future, the other haunts it. In moments of decision, discipline feels like the harder path. But in hindsight, regret is always heavier. No one regrets trying their best. People regret not trying at all. The pain of discipline passes. The pain of regret stays. And that truth alone is enough to change how you choose today, elevate your thinking, thrive in your life,